Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the Z-Man Show. It's December, it's Christmas time. I'm wearing a Christmas shirt with Kermit the Frog on it.
You make me so mad. You are without a doubt one of the nastiest I've ever seen.
And what better time is there to talk about Godzilla? Today I went and saw Godzilla Minus One at the movie theater, and I wanted to talk about it. I'll start off saying that I have been a huge Godzilla fan ever since I was a little kid. I love the classic movies, I love the 80s and 90s movies, and I really like the legendary films that are coming out right now too. Pretty much anything to do with Godzilla I really like, except for...
That's a lot of fish.
Ew.
We don't count that one. So running alongside the current Legendary Pictures, or whatever the studio's called, main Godzilla series in the US, Toho, the original company that made Godzilla and a bunch of other kaiju stuff, came out with Godzilla Minus One. And I'm here to tell you that it should have been called Godzilla Plus One because it's a big positive. Boo! Seriously, it's a fantastic Godzilla movie. It really does feel like a classic, almost, I don't want to say it feels like a remake or a reboot of the very first Godzilla, but for lack of a better term, it kind of is. It's like if they made the original Godzilla today instead of back in the 50s or 60s or whenever they made it. And having enjoyed that movie so much, I thought, what better to talk about on my first video that's not gaming related than this movie. I'm not going to go too deep into details, I don't want to spoil anything, but basically the plot is a kamikaze pilot, our main character, Shikishima, basically pretends that his plane was malfunctioning so he doesn't have to go on his kamikaze run, and in the process ends up dooming a lot of people in a Godzilla attack on an island where they repair the ships that are supposed to be broken, but his isn't. He meets a lady that has a baby with her that isn't even hers. It's just somebody's baby. It's somebody's baby. The baby's parent died in the war, so they wanted this lady to take care of the baby. And now she is basically getting help from our main character, Shikishima.
Satopolis.
Whatever. And then, of course, Godzilla comes back, and he has to deal with that situation. There's a lot to this movie, especially on the human side. Like I said, don't want to go too far into it, don't want to spoil anything. I mean, it's a Godzilla movie. You know basically kind of how the formula works. It's kind of the same, but there's one big difference. Contrary to me forgetting how to say Shikishima's name, and forgetting all the other characters' names, except for Akiko, which is the baby's name. This is the first time in any Godzilla movie or property or anything where I actually was very invested in the human characters. Like, not even the US version, like the Legendary movie series, was I this much invested into the human characters. And I put emphasis on those ones because that's like, that's Hollywood. That's what I'm used to. That's American film. That's what I watch. That's what I'm used to. Whereas Japanese films, at least in this regard, like Godzilla films, it's just different acting, I guess I could say. I don't know a better way to put it. The emotions they come across a little bit differently than how we portray them in American movies. Vice versa, they're different. And I think you probably know what I'm talking about. Not that I think it's just gonna be bad, even though there has been a lot of bad Godzilla acting, no matter where it came from.
That's a lot of fish.
There's some bad acting in some Godzilla movies. But this one, I don't know what it was, but something was so much different. Like, there's a point in the movie, there's 2 points in the movies where something kind of sad happens, and there's years pass through the movies, not like 10 years or anything like that, but years pass. The baby in the beginning kind of gets a little older, and she's like a toddler and stuff. And there's parts that are sad, and she ends up crying, and God, it haunted me for the rest of the day. I hate, even if it's fake and if it's in a movie, I hate seeing little kids be sad or something bad happen to them. Like, God, oh, man, that like literally just stuck in my head all day and almost depressed me a little bit. I was just like, ugh. And I've never felt that watching a Godzilla movie. I'm in there for, you know, the monster stuff. I'm in there for a kaiju walking through the city, breaking stuff, or in other cases, fighting other monsters, whatever. That's what I'm there for. This movie did that insanely well too, but at the same time having great human characters. It's crazy. I love that. I love that it made me feel something for the human characters. So getting to the big parts, like the main parts, like I was just saying, the kaiju, the Godzilla parts of the movie, shot beautifully. Such cool angles. The practical effects were really awesome. I'm pretty sure a lot of it was a Godzilla suit plus some CGI added onto it. And I mean, it wasn't the best looking, like effects wise, but it was still really good looking, you know, like it never looked not good enough to a point where I was just like, that doesn't look good. It always looked pretty good. And oh, the music was very, very good. It wasn't like amazing throughout, but in certain Godzilla spots, it was great. And I'm talking about the original music that they made for the movie. When they played the classic Godzilla song, you know, the Godzilla theme song when he was doing some stuff. Oh, I got goosebumps every time that song plays. Not just in this movie. I just get goosebumps when I hear that song because it makes me think of that kind of thing. But, oh, it was so cool. They used it really, really well. There was one spot where they used it a little too soon, I think, but not much. It's not much of a complaint. Speaking of complaints, though, there's only one I really have for the movie. As a whole, anyway. The movie is 2 hours and 6 minutes long. I don't think it dragged at all, but I do think it was a little longer than it needed to be. Really, the only parts that I think could have been trimmed down are, of course, the human parts, like when you're actually with the human characters. There's not a lot to be cut out, but just little bits and pieces of extra film of like establishing shots and stuff maybe that probably could have been cut down here and there, adding up to maybe 15 to 30 minutes. I think it could have been an hour and a half long, maybe an hour 45. But like I said, it didn't drag or anything. I wasn't getting like antsy waiting for Godzilla. It's like, come on, where's Godzilla? Where's Godzilla? I mean, like, it's cool. I do want those parts to come up. But some of it, like maybe some things were a little over-explained, like when a group of people are making plans on what can we do, what are we going to do to fight back against Godzilla. That part, I think they kind of over-explained some things where probably didn't need to. That definitely could have saved some time. But again, didn't really do anything bad for the movie. I'm just saying that's probably what I would have done, or what I could say would make an improvement. But other than that, I mean, it was like, to me, nearly perfect. A perfect Godzilla movie. Absolutely loved it. Definitely loved it. I mean, it's definitely at least in my top 5 Godzilla movies now. But that's just what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. I'd really like to hear everybody else's opinion. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time on The Z-Man Show. Oh,